Hello, welcome. DJ Vic Vapor with you. And let's take a look at Bitwig Studio and using loops in the mix view, which is this view of Bitwig, taking loops and arranging them into, a basic track outline. That way, what we can do is we can use the scene launch buttons to basically play the song as we want it structured, record that into the arrangement view, and then take the arrangement view and let it be our final canvas for painting the true details on transitions or making any final edits, before we render it out or export it out. So this video is by request. So I'm going to go ahead and do my best to show you what I would do as far as using loops and using clips to arrange a track in a way that we can record it where it's close to the basic outline, or at least record it and maybe go through some different variations for ourselves. So one of the ways we want to do that, of course, is by using the different clips here. So I've got a full drum sound right here. This is my full drum loop. And then I've got just a kick and a clap. Next, we've got our hi-hats, then our percussion, our bass, chord, and I've got like a sweep effect here to help with some of the transitions and a little impact as well. So when you think of like track structures and track arrangements, you want to think of it from a DJ perspective, especially when you're dealing with house. You want to give the DJ some beats or some sort of something to mix into at the front. So my first thought would be, I don't want all the drums right up front. So what I'd probably start with, let's do this. I'll highlight scene 1 and I'll duplicate it. So I don't want all the drums to start. I don't really want to necessarily start with a kick and a clap either. And I'll take out the hi-hats. You know what? I will go ahead and start with a kick and a clap. And this is kind of the process. I'm just thinking out loud with you guys. So we'll start with a kick and a clap. We don't need the percussion. The bass doesn't need to come in right up front. And don't even really need, what we can do with the chords is, let's open this clip up real quick here and let's just take a listen to the chords. What you can do on this, because you don't really want to give the whole track away right at the start. You want to kind of tease it in. You don't want to show everything that's available right from the start. So let's just give it a 2-bar loop on this first one, and then to allow myself to know there's something different going on there, I'll just give it a different color. And then we've got our sweep and our impact. I don't need the sweep to start. Maybe I'll leave the impact there. And I think now that I've thought about it a little bit, I'm going to come back here and add the percussion. So my first scene when the song starts is this series right here. So let's take a listen. Okay, that's workable. It's a good start. Probably change some of the volumes here just a little bit. Let's get things balanced out. And again, this is just the rough outline. When you get into the true painting, the details, that can be done on the arrangement side. So I'm just kind of balancing this for my ears right now. So we're going to start with a kick and a clap, a percussion. And now we want the track to progress. So next we will go with, still don't want full drums. We're not going to bring those guys in quite yet. We'll leave the kick and clap going. We can now introduce the hi-hats, and I'll leave the bass down a little bit. The chords, now what we can do is just let this chord thing progress each time. So now we've got a 2-bar loop. What we can do is I'm going to move it. It starts from, we got the 1 and 2 on the first one. I'll do this 3 to 5. Let me hear that, make sure it loops good. Yeah. All right. So see, it's just slowly progressing. We don't want to give it all away yet. So let me go ahead and holding down the Alt key on my keyboard here, just dragging down another couple copies. And what do we got? We got this sweep. I'll leave that guy down here. Don't need the impact here. So now we've got a progression going. So we've got this one starts. We play through a little bit. I'll let this impact kind of play out. And then scene 2 starts. And what we can do now is, and I'll do this in an abbreviated, shortened version instead of making like a big 7-minute deal. Just want to make the video short and sweet and to the point. So now I've got that progression started. So now let's say after that, those 2 segments, we'll go ahead and come in with the full drums, and we'll allow the bass to come in. Now this, I'll let this be the full chord loop. So let's open this back up. So let me do this. I always like to keep things organized. So this one is 2-bar loop. This one is a 2-bar loop as well, but it's the second one. So I'll just put 2-bar loop 2, and then this is full. And this guy we'll just kind of get rid of for now. So there's my progression. Now, when I go into this full drums and the bass coming in and the full chord loop coming in, I'm going to introduce it with this sweep sound next to everything. Actually, I'm just going to introduce it with both of those. So now let's just listen to this progression. We've got an intro, got like a little verse 1, and then we've got like a main drop. So let's see how that sounds. So now we want to go back to like a breakdown. We simply just kind of, what we can do is I'll bring this guy in. Let's get it highlighted. And let's hear what it sounds like. Go back down a little bit here. What's this guy sound like by itself? Stop that. And I'm going to select clip, reverse. I want to hear what this sounds like now. And that will. All right, so I'm going to leave that guy reversed. Let's get it labeled so I know that's what I've done. All right, so I'm thinking of a breakdown. So we've got everything going. Now we want to break it down. So let's do this. Let's do this guy, duplicate, and I'll bring you here. And then I'll bring you back up here. And excuse me, we will go back to our original 2-bar loop, just holding down the Alt key again on my keyboard, dragging and dropping. So back to our 2-bar. I'm going to leave the bass out. I'm going to leave the percussion in. This is a breakdown that we're creating. And then let's go with the hi-hats. We won't use any drum stuff. And then to come back out of this, I'll just be able to go right back here. So now that we've got these laid out, you can kind of just now you can work these. You can use your MIDI controller. If you've got the Akai APC 40 Mark II, you can launch the scenes or whatever MIDI controller you have. You can just launch the scenes and jam out because now you know what you've got. So I'm going to label these real quick and then we'll goof around with it and record it into the arrange. Intro. I'm just going to say verse 2 or verse 1. This is the full. Or I'm just going to put drop. I need to put this back. I moved it out of there. I need it up there. So we got 2 of those. And this is drop 2. And this will be the breakdown. All right, so hopefully that makes sense to you. I've got an intro, verse, a drop. The drop 2 is just setting up this reverse sound to lead into my breakdown. But now I've got something I can jam out here and record into the arrange. So let's go ahead and shut all these clips down. And I'll hit record, and it'll record. Actually, let's see something here. Arrange. And this, yeah, let's do it like this so we can see it recording in. So now we've got everything here, and you can just record it over here into the timeline. So let me highlight. I don't need to do that. All right, just making sure everything's ready to rock and roll here. Get rid of this guy. And then after we've got it recorded into the arrange, that's where we can go in and kind of with our, fine tuning concept, really get into the details of the transitions and whatever effects we want to add and things like that. But this is just one more way to utilize Bitwig, I'm sorry, utilizing clips in the arrange. So again, this is a video that was requested. Somebody had wanted to get a better idea how to put clips into an arrange and maybe work those out with the MIDI controller. So make this guy off a solo. And now I've got my intro, my verse, my drop 2, and my breakdown. Let's hit record, and we'll just kind of work through a little bit of this track. So there you go, a nice easy sketch. Now there's obviously a few things you'd want to change here. It's not like it's finalized in that process. Click this guy, highlight everything so we can see it. Now I can go in and just wherever I feel like maybe something needs to be earlier or later, or wherever something needs to be moved around, maybe the volume needs to be adjusted, anything like that, I can go ahead and do that now. So some of the things that were probably definitely noticeable right off was the effects and where they're coming in at. So maybe I want this guy, say like right here. And when these two lead into this break, I might want to bring this sweep over just a little bit so that they kind of coincide, building up together into that break, and kind of the same concept coming out of it as well. So let's go ahead and change those. And yeah, there you have it. Taking clips and loops from the mix view, laying out a basic track, and then recording it into the arrange. Oh, let me start it at the front there. So hopefully you get the idea how easy it is to kind of go through that. Just putting a little filter on that chord, giving a little flavor to it. So that way we don't really hear it all at once up front. It just kind of slowly comes into our attention. And of course, you can continue to do things like adding maybe like, a delay or something like that. Just at this point, it's really up for whatever your, you know, ideas are for the overall layout of the track. It doesn't have to be anything specific. It's just showing you a way to kind of get an outline or an idea together real quick. And, just a different workflow probably that you could consider. So let's have one last playthrough and I'll leave you guys to it. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for pushing play, and peace.